I'm going to ask you this question actually, and thank you to everyone who's sending their questions in on the chat. Hopefully we've answered some of them actually in those last couple of sessions, but I'll try and get through as many as we can here. But Ruth, let me ask you this, and it's about buying a franchise resale as opposed to a new territory, and how that would differ, what approaches, how do those approaches differ, and any advice you might have in that area.
Yeah, so I think it's just important to say, for any mature franchisor, you would expect to see resales, particularly for good franchisors and good franchise opportunities, because it is just the natural life cycle of a business. And also, Home Instead has a number of resales available at the moment. I think the advice I'd give is just really understand, firstly, what your skill set is, because you're either great at setting up new businesses and having that blank piece of paper and creating something that's yours from scratch, or going into something where maybe, as Mike was with the Richmond business, needing to go and turn it around and do some change management and really think about, how do I learn the business that's there and also do that change at the same time. Obviously, investments are very different as well, because for a Home Instead franchise, it's about £150,000, including kind of any personal drawings that you may need from day one. Whereas a resale can vary based on where they are in the stage of their franchise journey. But I think both opportunities are viable. You just really need to understand what's the investment, what's your skill set, and what is also available within the franchisor that you're looking at.
Fab, Ruth, that's really helpful. There's a couple of questions on here about work-life balance. So, and I know we've talked a lot about that on the sessions today. Maybe John, let me bring you in at this point, John Davis at Fast Signs. Work-life balance is something I imagine we're all striving for, isn't it? One of the questions is about how long it takes for you to get that, because quite understandably, this is a question from Samantha, understandably upfront, you got to put in the hours. At what point do things start to fall into place and you think, you know what, I can actually take a bit of time for myself right now? And I guess it does vary with business to business, but what's your experience?
Yeah, so all of the franchisors that are presenting today have got very successful and proven business models. So the individual success of a franchise is generally down to the application of that successful model by a franchisee. So conversely, how hard you are prepared to work determines the result that you are going to achieve. I think it's fair to say, this is a generalization and it will vary brand to brand, but I think it's fair to say that for 18 to 24 months from the start of a business, you are going to be working incredibly hard, but you're working to get results for yourself, not a corporate organization. I would think after 24 months, dependent on how successful you've been and how hard you've worked and how you've been able to apply the model, I would say at that point, you'll start to see some balance coming back into your life where you can work on the business rather than in it. You will have built a team of people who can help you do it. And you might get a bit of time there for holidays and spending with the family, etc. So that's just a general rule of thumb, but each of the individual franchisors will be able to give you some examples of how that time can either be slightly shortened or in some cases take slightly longer.
Brill, and I know time is gone, but this question very, very neatly ties up both of those questions that I asked there. One just saying, is it easier to buy a resale than new in terms of that work-life balance? So actually, if you're buying an existing one, do you fast track it a bit?
Well, what I would say is buying a resale, you've got to be prepared to jump onto a moving train. You're buying a business that already has some customers, it has dependents, it has staff. So it's you that needs to get up to speed as quickly as possible. The investment level is generally higher. The time to get yourself a drawing and possibly a work-life balance will be reduced. When you start a new franchise, you've got to put all the effort in the beginning to build the momentum. Once the momentum is going, it's your train moving at your pace, delivering your requirements. So both of them are very successful. As Ruth mentioned, both of them are very required in a mature network. And it really is down to personal preference.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Thank you so much, John. It's great to have your thoughts on that particularly. And thank you to all of our speakers. Look, my job tonight is to make sure that we run to time and to get everyone answers to questions. There's a load of questions still in there, but I'm conscious that we promised to finish on time. So the team will answer them. They'll get you some responses to any of the other questions offline. So don't worry if we've not been able to get to your specific question in that last Q&A session. Thank you too for bearing with us with a few techie issues around those breakout rooms, but I really hope that the last couple of hours have been time well spent and we've been able to maybe ease some of your concerns, answer some of your questions, and give you a bit of reassurance about the world of franchising. Every time I do these events, I learn a lot, so I really hope that you have too. So thank you to our speakers from the British Finance Association, the British Franchising Association, and also from HSBC. Thank you to our franchisors and our franchisees for sharing their experience, the ups, the downs, the highs and the lows of what they've been going through, particularly, of course, over this last couple of years, which has been so strange for all of us. Thank you to the team at Calvin for organising this and bringing everyone together. And thank you too for being here, for spending a bit of time with us. Like I said, I really hope that it has been time well spent, that you have found it useful. We will do these regularly, so hope to see you on the next one. And have a wonderful evening, whatever you're up to. But as promised, 5 minutes late. Thank you for being with us, and we'll say goodbye. Thanks a lot. Take care.